Hello and welcome everyone to our 33rd session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'll be talking to Danielle Russodivito from Lodi, New Jersey. Today we'll be talking about real estate in New Jersey, New York, learn about the suburbs such as Orange County, Westchester, Rockland, Bronx, how Danielle started as a real estate agent, her first steps, her educational videos she's also conducting, what first-time buyers are looking for when they buy a home, the real estate processes in New Jersey as much as in New York and also in general. Danielle actually has obtained a vast amount of awards, of real estate awards, which I'm super curious about to learn about more. And she right now works for Keller Williams, the big brokerage firm. So Danielle, welcome to the show. I'm super excited to have you. You're the first person from New York, from the New Jersey area. So happy to have you on the show. Why don't you introduce yourself quickly to our audience?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm Danielle Russodivito. I've been a real estate agent for about 6 years now. I work with Keller Williams. My office is in Ridgewood, New Jersey, but I service all of northern New Jersey and upstate New York. So basically all of the towns right outside Manhattan. A lot of different areas, Bergen County, Passaic County, Essex County, Hudson County, and then Rockland County, New York, Orange County, New York, Westchester, New York, and the Bronx, which the Bronx is still considered one of the boroughs of Manhattan, but it is part of my Hudson County MLS, Hudson Valley MLS system. So I do service that area.
That's great. Tell us a little about this bit. Well, introduce to us a little bit the suburbs of New York City, and also what are the interesting fields of working exactly in that zone, and why should maybe also people invest in exactly in those areas?
So a lot of people that live in Manhattan or work in Manhattan, they either, when they live there, they tend to move outside of Manhattan when they start having kids because the school district isn't really the best in the city. And also, they would like to raise their kids, with a bigger home. People that work in the city tend to live outside the city just because you get a lot more for your money. You get a lot more space. It's much cheaper. And there's a lot of mass transit that goes straight into the city. And you can be either within 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how, far out do you want to go.
Okay.
So that's the reasons why a lot of people come out, from the city or outside from the city and they live in the suburbs.
Okay, so I can expect that a lot of families living in those suburbs, and that's why it obviously, like, most probably also has a huge potential still for appreciation and value of the real estate market, because right now the house market in New York City is like skyrocketing. Or how can I
Yes.
think so?
Manhattan is just so expensive. I mean, there's just nothing. I mean, you could get a closet for $500,000, 600,000. So it's just so expensive. Not everybody can really afford it. It is definitely a luxury if you want to be inside the Big Apple. But a lot of people will live either like right outside, right up across the river in like Jersey City, Hoboken, which still kind of has the same pricing as Manhattan. The further north that you go, it gets cheaper. You get a lot more for your money, a bigger house or a bigger condo. So it really all depends on the client's price point. And it's not just families that come to the suburbs. There is a lot of, first-time home buyers, couples, singles, everybody. There's all different areas for everyone. It depends, like closer to the city, it does get a little more city-like feel, but then the farther north you go, it gets a little more rural, like, a lot more land. You definitely would need a car to drive to certain places.
Okay, I understand. Tell us a little about your beginnings during your career. So you started. When did you start in your real estate business? Like, and what did you do before?
So I started real estate when I was 22 years old. I was right out of college. Before that, I was working in various customer service positions. I worked in my father's restaurant, since I was able to work, which is, I think, like 14 or 15 years
Wow.
old. So I started off as doing the meal prep in the kitchen, and then I was a cashier, a hostess, and then I ended up being the assistant manager, and then from there I started real estate full time. I got into real estate because when I was 22 or 21, I bought my first condo in Suffern, New York, which is in Rockland County, and I just love the whole process of going online, looking for homes, and then seeing them, and that just, I love working with people, and I loved homes, so why not sell homes?
Absolutely.
And I saved up money for a year, because in real estate it's commission based, so you have to, have somewhat of a, savings account in case, once you start building your business. So I saved up my money. I took the real estate course, passed it, and then started, the business, and it just took off from there.
I'm curious about the process of getting or becoming a real estate agent. Maybe other listeners also are curious who are considering to enter the entire field. I heard that the first years are the toughest, and that you have to have like some savings, as you had, in order to survive the first months or even years. How much, especially most probably that's also different for each region in the US. For the region you're in, how much would you recommend everyone when they start in the real estate business as a real estate agent to have saved upfront?
So, I mean, it really depends on your situation. If you're still living at home with your parents, you don't have rent to pay, then you won't need to save as much as if someone is living on their own, has a mortgage payment, a rent payment, a car payment, So, I mean, for me, I wasn't a normal 21-year-old. I already lived on my own. So I saved about $8,000. I mean, it probably only lasted me about 4 months.
Okay,
5 months.
Yeah, my question was towards like the run rate. So how many months do you think you should definitely be able to survive without? Like 4 months you think is enough?
So, I mean, for real estate, it depends on the market. So like right now, you definitely would be able to get a lot more. All right, so let me rephrase this. So right now, when I started, the market wasn't that good. So it took me a little longer to start making money. But now in this market, it's so hot that even if you came in the market, starting off, you could get business.
Okay.
So, starting off right now, if you wanted to come in, if you go under it like a big top producer's belt, you can then start making money, within 1 or 2 months. But when I came on the market, the market wasn't that good. It was 2013. We were still kind of picking up from the market crash that we had in 2008. So that's why it took a little longer for me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Concerning the license, how does that work? Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so it's a 75-hour course. I definitely suggest everybody if they want to get licensed and you're like 18, I would get licensed at 18 years old, because I'm telling you, once you're in the business for a while, you can really grow and you'll be young still and be a top producer. Okay. So you can be 18 years old to get your license. It's a 75-hour course for both New York and New Jersey. Once you complete the 75 hours, you take your test. And then you pass the school test, and then you have to pass the state exam, and then you get your license.
Okay. How much is it, more or less?
I think that when I did it, it was about, I think, $400. It should be about that.
Okay, something affordable. It's not like a rip-off. Okay. And then I can just start on my own as a real estate agent. I can just try to get my own deal flow and work independently, or am I always supposed to work directly with a brokerage if someone accepts me?
So as a new agent, you'll be a salesperson. So you will have to have a company hold your license. Okay. The only way that you'll be able to go independently on your own is get your broker's license. But you have to be licensed first for 3 years full-time as a salesperson in order to go for your broker's license. And then you would have to take another course. Okay. So it's about 78 hours in New York and 120 hours in New Jersey. And then you do the same thing. You take a school exam, pass that, and then a state exam, you pass that. I do advise you to go under a broker. I mean, Keller Williams is an amazing company. you can get to 100%, once you hit a certain cap. And, honestly, running numbers for you to run your own company, it costs maybe about or more than your cap at Keller Williams.
Wait, okay. You're a little bit too fast for me considering the terms. I mean, it's super interesting. Just to make sure I'm getting that right, you're talking about 100% of what?
Your commission, your split. So now when you go under a brokerage, you have a commission split. So when you go independently, then you don't have a split.
Sure.
Then you're so what I'm saying is that instead of opening up your own company and having all this overhead and liability, it's better to go under another brokerage where you don't have to worry about that overhead and liability.
And you still get to 100%. Okay.
Exactly. You can still get to 100%.
Okay. And cap as per as well, commission cap, I assume.
Yeah. Once Keller Williams makes their cap, then you get 100% from then on until your anniversary year recycles. And, if anyone has any questions about Keller Williams, they can definitely message me, and I would be more than happy to help them with that.
Okay, great. Super interesting. Do you guys also work between across brokerages? So if I have a deal flow comes from one side to the other, or is it only within one brokerage? How does that work?
No. So there is a multiple listing system, and the multiple listing system is for different areas. So let's say the house is in Bergen County. You put in New Jersey MLS, and the listing will be good for anyone a part of New Jersey MLS. So any brokerage, any agent in the New Jersey MLS can access that listing. And then what we do is we give out a buyer's agent commission. So we split the commission that the seller is paying us with the other agent. So we do cooperate with other companies.
Okay, so there are always two agents normally involved, one from the buyer side and one from the seller side?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's the listing agent handling both sides, that's considered dual agency.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and then it's just a free market kind of, like it doesn't really matter which brokerage it is, and then you just try to get the deal flow and transaction is done based on the match, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and you also it is very common in the US to have the open houses and to have like the transactions being done via this one. So I assume that the buyer's side broker or agent always then organizes the open houses and then invites a lot of agents from the seller side, or how does it work?
So the listing agent is the one that's representing the seller. So the listing agent will handle all the marketing for the property, advertising, the open houses, handling all of the showings, the calls. And then if, let's say, another agent has the buyer, then that agent would make a call to the listing agent to make an appointment to view the property.
Okay.
And then show their buyer.
Okay. Sorry if most of those are super basic questions. For me, it's still super.
Okay.
It's super interesting because every country and every market has his particularities. So it's super interesting to talk about that. And thank you so much for guiding us through it. Now you're also doing some educational videos. Is that also related to the license people can obtain, or what are you doing exactly?
So my educational videos, I have it under #AskDanielle. Basically, I'll do a video once in a while. I try to do it once a week, but sometimes work gets busy.
Sure.
But I try to do it more often. But what I did was each video of every step of the buying process. So one video would be the first step, then the other video would be the second step. So I would do the whole buying process. I would educate people on the difference between short sales and foreclosures, educate people on loans, staging in the winter time on what to do in order to avoid frozen pipes. All of those type of videos to educate, the buyers and the sellers. I do on Ask Danielle.
Okay, that's interesting. So since you just mentioned it, maybe give us some basic steps on the buying process, maybe in general, and then also some differences between New York and New Jersey, if you don't mind.
Sure. So the first step is actually getting a pre-approval letter. So what you could do is if you do have a realtor already that you are going to work with, you can ask them for recommendations on a loan officer. And then basically you'll get pre-approved. And then you give the pre-approval letter to your real estate agent so they can help you find a house that's within your comfortability. So a lot of people think like they just go on like a calculator and just kind of punch in numbers and not really understand how much like what's involved with the monthly payment and how much cash that they will need to close. So basically what a loan officer will do is they'll explain everything. They'll explain to you how much money that you have that you'll need towards the down payment, how much money you'll need towards the closing costs, and then kind of get an idea of where do the buyer feel comfortable spending monthly, because sometimes a buyer can qualify for a lot more money than what they want to spend because everyone lives a different lifestyle. So once you figure out what monthly payment you feel comfortable spending and then how much cash that you have in order to close, then I can know how much what kind of house that we're looking for, the purchase price, and how much the taxes are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Once I've done that, what would be the next step?
So then we would start looking for homes. So it's the fun part. We go to look at houses and, see all different types of styles. And then, as your realtor, I would find out what you like, what you don't like, and then find you your dream home.
Yeah. Okay. And this is definitely like being done with you, and you will definitely like guide us throughout the house buying process and also the entire search of the home.
Yeah. So I basically would guide you from start to finish.
Yeah.
So I have a whole team of recommended loan officers for you if you need a loan officer. I have recommended home inspectors when we get to that point, recommended attorneys when we get to that point. So, and then basically what I do is guide you, answer all your questions, and hold your hand from start to finish.
Okay. Once I found a house or an apartment or condo, what I like, what would be the next step then?
The next step would be submitting an offer. So basically what I would do is pull up comparable houses that sold in the last 6 months and see what they sold for. And then that would kind of give us an idea of where we should come in with an offer. Then once we submit the offer, so like this is where New York and New Jersey get different. So in New York, you submit a purchase agreement. In New Jersey, you submit a standard contract with your offer in it. Okay? Now, in New York, if your offer is accepted, then you do your home inspection first, then you go under contract. In New Jersey, if your offer is accepted, you go into attorney review for 3 to 5 business days. And then after attorney review, you go under contract, and then you have 14 calendar days to do your home inspection. So I really like New Jersey's process better because in New Jersey, you're already under contract, so you're protected during that home inspection period. But in New York, you're not. So another offer can come in and kind of bump you out, and you're out on your home inspection money. So that's the difference between New York and New Jersey in that part of the process.
So that means from the attorney's situation, both parties are kind of locked in. So it's kind of it's kind of security. You also conduct a security deposit there, like kind of reserving the property by paying a fee.
Yes. So once you sign the contract, you give an earnest money deposit that will be then go towards the closing costs at the closing table. Okay.
Then what is missing? Obviously, signing the deed, or how do you call it? The contract.
The contract.
Yeah. And this is being done in before the attorney or the notary, or how does that work?
All right. So in New Jersey, you're going under contract first, right? So you're signing with the attorneys. Then you do your home inspection. In New York, you do your home inspection first. Then you negotiate the home inspection terms. Then you go under contract. Now, during the home inspection, because I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, during the home inspection, you do a basic home inspection with a home inspector. And then it depends. You do an oil tank sweep to make sure that there's no underground oil tanks.
Oh, really?
Because Yeah, because if there's an underground oil tank, then you have to then do a soil test to make sure that it didn't
Sure.
leak and
Yeah.
that there's no contamination.
Yeah.
If there's a septic tank, then you have to do a septic inspection, and if there's a well, then you have to do a
Okay.
well inspection. So those are some parts of
It's
New York and New Jersey have well water and septic, and some parts are natural gas and municipal sewers.
yeah,
So
but it's good that it's required. I mean, it's a very good security for the buyer, I assume, to make sure that
yeah.
the buyer is not misled.
Well, there's a lot of realtors that don't educate the buyers and tell them that they have to do these inspections. So that's why I'm kind of telling you now, because, in case anyone out there is watching and they have a real estate agent, now they can be like, well, shouldn't I be doing a septic inspection?
Yeah.
Shouldn't I be doing a well inspection? So, yeah, it's really important to also hire a real estate agent that knows what they're doing. And is very knowledgeable as well.
Okay, so that means it is not by law, it is not required, but you're supposed to, or you should do it, and just to save yourself. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay, absolutely.
I mean, you're
Okay.
doing your due diligence.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that what you're buying is not a money pit. So,
Absolutely. Okay. Um, the next step would be then already then how does it work? Where does the land registry come in place? That's with the contract directly, or do you have that, or title company, like somewhere at the I don't know, at any institution where everything is stored, that it says that it's really also my house or my condo or my land. How does that work?
okay. So then after you do your home inspection, everything is good. You're still moving forward and you're under contract. Then you're getting a little ahead of yourself. So basically then the loan officer is going to order appraisal, and then the attorney is going to order title, what you just said, right? Because
Okay.
title takes about like 2 to 3 weeks to come in. And what title is going to do is they're going to pull all the permits, make sure that there's no open permits, make sure that there's all necessary permits on the property, that it has its certificate of occupancy. So basically what that means is that Uncle Joe didn't finish the basement without a permit, or add in a bathroom without getting the proper, paperwork and inspections. Also in title, it makes sure there's no liens. It'll pull up all of the mortgages on the property to make sure that they're all paid off at closing.
Yeah.
And then the appraisal will be ordered. And basically what that is someone's going to come in and appraise the property to make sure that it is, being sold for what it's worth. Because the bank will only lend out 80% the value of the house.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm jumping. Maybe sometimes I'm a little bit too fast, but I'm impressed about all the steps, especially like the way you lay them out, because it's exactly, I think, the way to go, to not jump like anything, because it's a very important, like one of the most important purchases someone conducts in a lifetime. So you really want to make sure that that this is being properly done, and also maybe do one due diligence more than one too little. You also mentioned before the term foreclosure. Was that exactly what does it exactly relate to, and how's also the market over there working considering that one?
So let me just explain what a foreclosure is first. So a foreclosure basically means that the bank has fully taken over the house because the person that owned it wasn't paying the mortgage. So after someone doesn't pay the mortgage for a certain time, I would say about anywhere between 6 months to a year and a half, the bank will then take the house back, and the title will then be transferred back into the bank's name. So then the bank owns the property and they want to obviously sell it. So then they put it on the market, or they'll put it into auction, and they'll sell it to somebody else. Now, foreclosures, either sometimes they're in good condition, sometimes they're in terrible condition. Because just think, if somebody's not paying the mortgage, they're definitely not maintaining the house. They're not, so the house is in very bad condition. Sometimes they actually vandalize the house. Sometimes they take all of the copper piping. They take all the appliances. So, sometimes you'll go in really disgusting foreclosures, and sometimes you'll go in really nice ones. So it really depends. The bank we'll price it according to condition.
Mm-hmm.
So now the difference, now a foreclosure, now there's short sales.
Yeah.
A short sale basically means that the person that owns the house bought it for more money than what it's worth. Like, I guess the market went down, you know, and now they either can't afford the house or they need to move.
Yeah.
So basically, they have to get an offer on the house first. It has to go under contract, and then that contract has to be submitted to the bank because the bank is taking a loss on the difference.
Okay.
So they have to approve the sale. So they have somebody come out, do their homework, do another, you know, appraisal to make sure that it's being sold for market value and not under market value. Those are also sometimes in bad shape because somebody that obviously can't afford the house obviously isn't maintaining it.
And
now
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go
the
ahead.
reason why there's so many short sales and foreclosures nowadays is because we did have a market crash in 2008.
Yeah.
So because we had the market crash in 2008 was because in 2005, 6, and 7 was the peak of the market. It just kept going up, 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 up. And look, they were giving out mortgages like they were candy.
Yeah.
And then when the market crashed, a lot of people lost their jobs.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford the house anymore. And that's basically why a lot of foreclosures happened.
Sure.
And short sales.
Okay, and therefore the market is definitely as accessible as any other normal home buying, as a normal home buying process home buying market. So I can also decide to just look and screen the market for foreclosures, I assume.
Yes, you can do that. I mean, it really depends. I mean, they're going to need a lot of work. So sometimes they don't qualify for regular conventional financing. So you'll need either to do a renovation loan or cash. But it really depends on the type of person, you know, what kind of person you are. If you're handy, if you're ready for a project. But, you know, it's a seller's market right now.
Yeah.
There is a lot of buyers, not enough inventory. So, I mean, the market's really good right now.
Yeah. You as a real estate agent, what would you give for tips to someone who wants to start the profession and say, you know, something you have to take care of or something you have to be aware of before you start. You know, it has these upsides, but it also has like some downsides. Give us your opinion about being a real estate agent in this region, because I think like it's one of the most vibrant areas to be a real estate agent in, almost worldwide. So what's also your daily routine and your normal work day look like?
So for anyone that's coming into the business, I'll just tell you right now, you do make your own schedule. A lot of people like to get into this business because of that. But you will work more than a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Your phone will not go off. Will not stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'll be going off all the time. So, I mean, you'll work from like 9 to 9 sometimes. You'll do 12-hour days, or, you know, sometimes you may not, you know, have anything to do in one day. It really depends, but you're commission based. So however many hours you put into the business, it will result in your paycheck. So, you know, the more hours you put into marketing yourself, networking yourself, you know, getting out there, showing houses, that will then, you'll see it in commission checks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, just think about it. During the day, you're doing all your paperwork and your marketing. And then at night, when people are off from work, you're showing houses. Same thing on the weekend. So really, it's a lot of hours. But you are your own boss and you can make your own schedule, and nobody's telling you to work all those hours. It's all up to you. And that's kind of what I like. I love how it's my decision. I will tell you though, get into real estate because it's the best career. It's so rewarding. It's very difficult at first, but if you can just, you know, hold your head up high and just have a steel armor and get through it, you'll definitely appreciate it and be happy in the end.
Great. Wow. Tell us a little bit about maybe we touched upon the suburbs before already. I'm curious about the particularities of Orange County or Westchester or Rockland. Why should someone right now consider buying, and maybe give us also some examples of some listings you have to say, okay, this is what you get, and also maybe in comparison to what you already did before, like on a high level, but now a little bit deeper concerning in comparison to New York City?
Okay, so Westchester is, I'm going to go from expensive to non-expensive.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, perfect.
So Westchester is right outside of the city. It
Yeah.
borders the Bronx. It's very expensive because the closer you get to the city, the more expensive it gets. So Westchester is more for someone that could afford to probably live in Manhattan, but they want a house rather than a condo. And they want a short commute into the city. When you get a little bit cheaper in price, you go to Rockland County. So Rockland County, the housing is a little less, but the taxes are a little bit higher. But you do have really good schools, and you get a lot more for land. So you get maybe a quarter of acre to an acre. That's the average in Rockland. Now, if you want to get even cheaper in price and more for your money, so like more square, a bigger house, but for a cheaper price, then you go to Orange County.
Okay.
Orange County is more land, more farmland, country, has good schools up there as well, but yet you're a little bit further away from the city, about like an hour and a half commute, and you have a lot more land. You can get like 1 acre to 7 acres depending on the town. So it really depends on the type of person and what you're looking for, and what kind of, if you like more of a city feel or a medium between city and country, or if you like country.
I understand. I mean, I don't see any point why not moving to Rockland, for example, once I have a family and a few kids. I mean, they obviously, I think the motivation to go downtown is less and less than maybe for someone who is a student or single and works in New York City. Obviously, they are more triggered to live very close to the city. Do you also see this, let's say, this difference in for example, between Westchester and Rockland and Orange County, that yes, you have like a certain demographic which you have more in one suburb than in the other?
I mean, honestly, yes, the closer you get to the city, it's going to be like, a lot more younger people tend to want to be closer to the city. But I've been very surprised nowadays that a lot of younger people have been wanting to be in like Rockland County and Orange County, especially buying their first house, because, if they're just engaged or newly, married and they want to have kids, they want to have that house, they want to have that space, they want to be in a good school district. So, really, it's very diverse. It's all different types of ages.
That's nice. That's even better, because it's not like it's kind of a monoculture where you have like only one or the other, depending on where you go. That's perfect. Why don't you present us one or two listings which you have, or tell us a little about like what you right now have on your portfolio as an example, so that the audience also can get an idea.
Okay, yeah. So currently I have a listing at 7 Durham Lane in Suffolk, New York. The asking price is $455,000. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and it's perfect for an extended family. It's a bi-level, so on the first level, that you have 3 beds, 2 full bath, a kitchen, living room, dining room. And then in the lower level, you have a living room, dining room, a fully equipped kitchen, 1 full bed, and 1 full bath. So if you have, let's say, a family member or a mother or father, parents, or somebody that you want to live with, but you want separate spaces, separate entrances, this is the perfect house. It has 2-car garage, setback, private, quiet, nice land. It's a really great house.
And one question to that quickly: down payment is 20%, or does it depend on my credit score?
So actually, I'm actually doing a video on loans. So whoever's watching this, go check out Danielle.
We will put a link later onto that. Yeah.
But you can put as little as 3% down on a conventional loan. FHA, you can put as little as 3.5% down. It really just depends on your debt to income ratio. If you have a higher debt to income ratio, then FHA. If you have a lower debt to income ratio, then conventional. And debt to income ratio means anything like a student loan, a car payment, a mortgage payment, credit card balances versus your income.
Okay. FHA?
FHA is a government-funded loan, and basically the difference between FHA and conventional, besides the whole debt-to-income ratio I just explained, you have mortgage insurance for the whole duration of FHA, and with conventional, it goes away once you hit 20% equity or you put 20% down.
Okay. Mortgage insurance on the financing.
FHA, yeah, on the financing.
Okay, for like in annuity or for 10 years.
So with FHA, it's for the whole duration of the loan. So if you have a 30-year loan, it's for 30 years, unless you refinance to a conventional.
That's amazing.
With conventional, it goes away once you hit either 20% equity or if you put 20% down.
Okay.
And mortgage insurance, basically, it's like if you're putting less money down, you're a higher risk.
Sure.
So that's why you have that mortgage insurance in case you were to, let's say, miss a payment or anything like that, and you foreclose on the property, the mortgage insurance kind of kicks in.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned 3% down payment.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible based on my debt to income ratio.
No, you could put 3% down. Debt to income ratio is just depending if you can qualify for a loan or not.
Okay.
On what purchase price.
Okay, wow. So that means like even like it doesn't really it's not contingent on the debt to income ratio. What for down payment I can obtain. It only determines exactly like the income the interest rate I'm getting, I assume.
Yeah, so interest rate. Yeah, if the more money you put down, the better interest rate you'll get, plus what your credit score is as well.
Got it. Okay. Does it is like talking about the 700,000? I forgot the exact number, but more or less like 700,000 listing you have right now. So we are talking about like, go ahead.
It was 7 dirham for 455,000.
Sorry, thank you so much. 450. Okay. Okay. So we're talking about like, not that much of money we need in order to start the financing.
There is closing costs though. Yeah. So your down payment is completely different than closing costs.
Yeah.
So your closing costs is basically a breakdown of, so in New Jersey, you only need 6 months of taxes in escrow. In New York, you need 1 year of taxes in escrow. Also in New York, you have mortgage tax. New Jersey, you don't. Then you have your appraisal cost, your survey cost, title search, title insurance, processing and recording. There's a whole list of them. I mean, your loan officer will be able to really give you a breakdown. Yeah. But your closing costs can be equivalent, as 3% a down payment. It could be the same amount.
Okay. But good to know. Okay, more or less like between 1 and 5%. You have to definitely expect for the closing costs. It can vary a lot. Okay, interesting. Okay. Do you have any other listing you would like to present?
At the moment, I don't. I have a couple listings coming on within a couple of weeks, but I'm not going to discuss those just yet since I'm waiting for paperwork to be signed. But I mean, I can explain things that I've sold. I've sold condos, houses. I do commercial as well. Anywhere from $40,000 to I've sold something for $3.75 million.
Wow.
So big range.
Wow.
But every customer gets treated the same.
Yeah. And this is
customer service.
And this is basically always triggered by the one who is looking for, or is it both? Both sides you're treating?
So it depends. I mean, some of the listings I was working with the buyers, and some of the listings I was working with the sellers. Mm-hmm. So I'm both a buyer and a seller's agent. Yeah. So I do both.
Okay. Concerning the value of the properties and of the listings, you have these awards, which is super impressive, and you have various of them. What is it exactly like for me as an outsider? What is it exactly like show? Is it the amount of value you have been able to close? How do those awards look like, and how does it work?
So the awards are based off of volume and units sold. So basically there's silver, gold, platinum, and emerald elite. And it's all based on volume. So let's just say you do 3.6 million or 12 million in 1 year, you're going to be in a different tier. My first year in the business, I got Rookie of the Year for not only my company, but for the whole franchise in the USA and Canada. But my first year, I was actually with a different company. I was with Better Homes and Gardens, Rand Realty. So I got, the Rookie of the Year for the whole Better Homes and Gardens real estate in the whole USA and Canada. So that was super exciting.
Wow.
My first, second, and third year, I got silver award. My fourth year, I got platinum. And then last year, I got silver. So it's just an accomplishment to get an award in general, because not everybody gets an award. So
what's your secret sauce? What's your secret sauce to achieve that?
Try to keep selling, keep working, keep moving.
Be close to the client as well, I assume.
Yes, build relationships. Once it sells, don't just forget about them. You got to nurture them, keep in contact, follow up. That's going to be your referral base. So your clients are going to be, your new clients are going to be coming from your past clients, referring you since you did such a great job. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Danielle, so far I don't have any questions anymore. It was amazing. I learned so many new things about the particularities of New York versus New Jersey, the buying process. You guided us so much, so fast through it. I think I even talked a little bit too much. You could have taken over much more, and because everything you said was like so valuable and so interesting. I also learned so much about the suburbs and the potential of buying in the suburbs, and also the ease of buying. And what I really like about the process you laid out is especially concerning the due diligence, like the very importance of really making sure that you're not getting screwed over, if I may say so that you really are not buying something which is in fact not worth it. And well, I mean, it's impressive. Your success is amazing to see, like how many units you have sold, and also the entire volume of real estate. Are there any final thoughts you would like to share with the audience?
Yes. So another thing that I want you guys to know is, if you are looking to get into real estate, I definitely, if you have any questions, feel free. I mean, my company is in all of USA, so I can definitely help you if you need help with, getting into a Keller Williams or wanting more information. Also, if any of you, you can refer clienteles throughout, the whole USA and even maybe other countries through a relocation database. So even if, let's say someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Danielle, do you have a real estate agent in Virginia?" Or, "Hey, Danielle, I'm looking to move to Virginia," then what I could do is I could put you in touch with a Virginia agent, and that way you get a referral fee. So that's just another added bonus on how to get, more money and also service for your clients. You can put them in touch with a great agent instead of them just finding one on Google and not knowing anything about them. You can put them in touch with a good top producing agent. You then get a little bonus when they buy something or if it sells.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
So.
Amazing.
Oh, and also, definitely check out my website, DanielleSellsRE.com. That's also my name on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and definitely check out my Ask Danielle videos.
Absolutely,
as well.
Ask Danielle videos. Perfect. I was about to ask you how to contact you, and I saw that you also created a profile on HalloCasa, which is amazing, so people can also contact you via the chat function on HalloCasa. Amazing. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was amazing. It was again super valuable content and deep dive on steroids, I would say, because it was so fast and you gave so much of information so fast. Thank you so much, Danielle. Have a nice afternoon, and we talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.